More than 200 people will have to find alternative accommodation tonight after they were evicted in Germiston for failing to pay rent. Tensions flared this morning as evicted residents took their anger to the streets, allegedly torching the Department of Home Affairs. Now, protesters are unhappy about recent evictions from flats in the area and are demanding to be allowed to move back without paying rent. Ekurhuleni Disaster and Emergency Management Services says they found petrol bombs in the building, and these are believed to have started the fire. No casualties have been reported. Let's bring you the latest now. We're joined by the Executive Mayor of Ekurhuleni, Dr. Xhakaza. Very good evening to you, and thank you so much for your time. Firstly, let's just start with an update on the situation, particularly around the investigations that are ongoing on the torching of that Home Affairs office.
No, thank you very much. I think that is being handled by the security cluster. Our EMPD, they are on the ground. That is the Ekurhuleni Metropolis Department. The South African Police Services, they are on the ground. You would understand that it is not just a torturing of any building. It's arson. It's got criminality in it. And really also compromising the lives because there are people there who are working, and when you petrol bomb this building, it means you're ready to, it's tantamount to an attempted murder, and I'm sure the security cluster, they will be handling it accordingly. But what we are also worried about, of course, is the services, the Home Affairs services that will now be compromised, but we are happy that an intervention from Home Affairs has actually been made to temporarily provide services. But I think what is more important for us is that we remain firm, that we would not allow lawlessness to continue. Our communities, they've said to us, we must reclaim back our CBDs. We must ensure that there is a program of renewing these CBDs. We bring back the investors, we take out criminality and all the illegalities. And that's what the program is about, because if we give away Germiston, we've given away the economic center of the city of Ekurhuleni.
Now, when one looks at the evictions that were being carried out earlier on, and with the different, versions that we were hearing from the residents themselves, others are claiming to have paid, around 3,000 Rand per month, having moved in. Some claim 1999, others 2014, others are saying 2000, others are saying 2010. But in all of this, one thing is common in their stories, is that they say that they've been paying, then they lost their jobs, they're not able to pay. But what is worrying is that when you listen to them, they say that when they go to apply for RDP houses, they are told that they already have a government subsidy and they do have RDP houses. How does that work?
Well, I can't, because some of these it's just propaganda. People who do not want to comply, who don't want to follow the law, who want to continue to pay what is due to the Ekurhuleni Housing Company. They pay it to, some forums, some people who've illegally hijacked these units, who have subleased them. It's a combination of schemes that are actually involved in this. There's 444 units, only about 20 people are actually compliant. They go to the housing company, they pay their rentals, they pay their for services there. All the other 424, they actually go to these hijackers. One forum called PED, which collects about 1.2 per month.
So is this the same, pardon me, Mayor, is this the same as the CD housing that some of them are mentioning?
What do you mean, city housing?
So some of them were telling our reporter, Calvin Luther, that they're paying to the CD housing company, and they're paying to an ABSA account, they claimed. They say it's around 3,000.
Those are part of hijackers.
Okay.
Those are people that we do not know, who actually part of funding. They collect the money, they sublease them, They undermine, the appointed, housing agency, which, manages this unit. They threaten the officials when they go there to actually maintain the space. And it's like any other illegal building that has been occupied. It's just that this one is a municipal facility. It's one of the municipal facilities. We can identify the municipality. That's why we can't give up, because the private sector, they also own buildings down the line. Private people, private...
Mayor, have your officials opened cases of intimidation against these particular individuals? All right, it seems... Mayor, pardon me, I think you're back. We got cut off with you just for a moment, but I'm trying to understand, because you're speaking about officials that you say have been intimidated and all of that. So has the city opened cases against these individuals, and are you investigating? Because this is theft if your version is true.
That's why we got that. So if you're a tenant, how you got to occupy that unit? You can't have any rental agreement with us. You have a rental agreement with somebody that we do not, that we are paying, rates on. These people are well organized. They push back. I mean, you could see today. I mean, it's not just organized people who are protesting. Because those who are protesting, they are, of course, there, but it's a tiny number. But largely, it's those who are actually benefiting. They are part of this scheme because. I'm sure we can have a conversation once we start this. How does it operate, the hijacking of a building, the hijacking of a property and service it?
But in light of that, Mayor, pardon me, we keep losing you a little bit there, but I'm hoping that the line can hold. In light of that, right, I know that you're investigating, but the question is, are there any cases currently that your officials have opened, yourselves have opened? Because if people have hijacked a building and they're taking money that is supposed to belong to the city from properties belonging to the city, that is theft. And one would then want to understand, how did they even begin to gain access to this and allow people to go in? Because one would find it so difficult to comprehend that this is allowed to happen, and yet there are no cases that are being opened.
We have a responsibility because we've got people who've hijacked our properties, right? Must evict them until they self-correct. They come right away. They are then given a right to buy a space and to do that right. If it's a low-cost rental unit, must also pay what is due and also, comply with all the conditions that, to occupy a space. If you are paying to a wrong person, you know where to pay. I have you that I must deal with as a tenant who's occupying my space.
And what about these criminals who are stealing your money? What about these criminals who are stealing your money?
It's extended, but the person who must pay is the one that occupies the unit.
But the criminals who are stealing your money should be behind bars. Have you opened cases against them?
The person who's occupying a unit must know. You're occupying a unit belongs to the state.
All right.
To the person. And it's fair, it's like that, because part of the problem of what continues to create confusion is that, somebody must be chasing someone who's hitting somewhere. You are paying.
Yeah, Mayor, pardon us, your line is letting us down. The connection there is not so great. We're now struggling to hear what you're saying. And as you say, that you still want to study this.
What I was putting across, because there must be no confusion, and that is why the municipality has got for the bid.
Yeah, no. Mayor, pardon me, please forgive us. The line is really letting us down, and we really want to hear what you're saying. So maybe let's try to speak again tomorrow. Maybe the line won't let us down. Maybe we'll be able to hear you, because it's really a struggle, because there's a lot going on here, lots of questions, and I'm hoping that we can be able to settle this. Our line is really letting us down to you. So let's just park it for a second, and we'll try and bring you this conversation with the mayor tomorrow in order to try and get to the bottom of what is going on here, because it seems there are too many issues at play here. That is the Executive Mayor of Ekurhuleni, Nkosindiphile Xhakaza, and we will try to speak to him just to get a sense of what exactly is going on tomorrow.
A reminder of our question to you tonight. In fact, it's linked to that conversation with Mayor Xhakaza. The Home Affairs building going up in flames in Germiston this morning due to those protests related to the evictions from a block of flats. And we want to know what you make in particular of the destruction of property during protests and public demonstrations.
And Bearer of Truth saying damaging infrastructure is not the answer. Where will people access essential services if public buildings are destroyed? This behavior is wrong and only harms the whole community.
Klaskekana says, we've seen this movie before. The mafia state employs runner arsonists, then secure a repair tender.
Mboniseni, good evening, Bongi and Tembi. Hi, it is very bad and irresponsible for someone to be protesting and then damage other infrastructure that you will need tomorrow.
And Vuyo, good evening to you. Vuyo says that I think that the behavior is barbaric and deserves the full might of the law. A clear example must be set with those involved. That's how it's looking in terms of your response to the question that we're asking tonight. What do you make of the destruction of public property in protests, especially like we witnessed in Germiston in Gauteng today? By the way, at least 2 people are currently in custody and are likely to face charges of arson.